Alright, so this video is a result of... Alright, so this video is a result of a lot of confusion, anger, all that good stuff coming from the first Street Tier tournament. Basically, first one was a brawl style situation. A lot of people got upset. They felt like it wasn't fair. That's fine. You know what? I'm going to be cool about it. I'm just going to redo it, but in bracket style. And the bracket I chose is the one we showed on screen. Now, I guess a few people got confused, for example, about Chucky. We didn't say Chucky beat a bunch of people in the first opening rounds. We said he hid from people. That's different, right? So, in this scenario, each person will face off against another per round, right? And the others will be watching. So, if you survive to round 2 and on, you do have a level of intel. Injuries, fatigue, anything that applies will carry on. And last man standing wins. So with that being said, if you like content like this, if you like tournaments, if you like street tiers, scaling, all that, make sure to hit the like button. Make sure to subscribe. And yeah, I'm trying to pump out a bunch of videos real quick because I'm going out of town this weekend. So I want to set you guys up for some good content. But with that being said, I'm going to go through each matchup. We're going to redo the tournament, but with round by round scenarios, and I hope you guys enjoy. Let's begin. First battle we are looking at Bullseye versus Spider-Man. This is an inverse Marvel matchup. Bullseye, of course, will have his adamantium laced bones, which helps him with durability. He's already naturally tough, having beefed with Daredevil for decades and Elektra, who can easily kill someone like Frank Castle if he's not careful. And he's one of the best marksmen in fiction, period, as well as creativity wise. Not many can match him in combat. He's taken out people with teeth, thrown them. He's used a straw to slit the throat of Deadpool. He's KO'd people with paper airplanes. Like, Bullseye can hit you with anything, anywhere, anytime, which makes him incredibly dangerous. Spider-Man is actually one of the most athletic in this tournament. In my opinion, also one of the most dangerous. That's why he took a L first round in the first tournament, because I felt a lot of people would target him because he's obviously the most physically gifted. But with that being said, here he has his webs, which allows him to traverse the battlefield a lot faster than most people, as well as entangle foes, even strong ones like Ben Grimm. He has a slight healing factor due to his superpowers. He has super strength compared to most, being able to fight the likes of Cap and Wolverine no problem. He's even able to throw around Craven, who is very strong to the point that, like, one nerve punch bow-load beast, he's ridiculously strong. So when you look at these two matched up, and by the way, Spider-Man is willing to hurt and kill, I think Spider-Man takes it. I see Bullseye doing some damage, especially because he's going to try to create separation and use long-distance projectiles. But Spider-Man's too fast, too strong, and ultimately, I believe he would close distance, ensnare Bullseye, and beat his ass. Spider-Man advances with some damage, but not a lot. Next up, Wesker, the bad guy from Resident Evil, versus Catman, the cat version of Batman. Catman's crazy, skilled enough to go toe-to-toe with the likes of Bronze Tiger, one of the most skilled martial artists in DC. His suit allows him to have, quote, bonus lives. He is very smart, especially with some prep, so moving on, he would be dangerous if he moves on. And then on the other side, you have Wesker, who's one of the most skilled soldiers in his verse. He's able to casually point-blank dodge bullets and projectiles. He was made to be the most physically superior to even the biomade characters in the verse. So he's above beings that are like casually building level. And because of this, he's very dangerous, and he was made specifically to be an elite super soldier, not to be surpassed by any human. So he's supposed to just naturally be beyond any human in combat. So between these two, I think it's fascinating. Catman's more skilled. Despite Wesker being one of the most skilled in his verse doesn't flesh out martial arts and the significance of several styles like DC does. And Catman is ridiculously skilled and aggressive. This is a great fight, but I do think Wesker's probably a little more athletic. And man, it's a really good fight. I think either one would be damaged moving on, like really damaged. I might give it to Wesker for his athletic attributes being superior, but oh man, that's a good fight. It could go either way, but I think the problem with it going either way in this circumstance is you take damage. But with that being said, I'm going Wesker, moves on, high diff. Next up, one of the more controversial ones in the last tournament, Wolverine versus Jason. Now, this is not just movie Jason, it's comics as well. Wolverine, the reason we didn't see Wolverine taking this, although he lost high diff, was because healing factor didn't apply as much, right? It's going to be applying here. Jason has just as good a healing factor. We've seen him on panel regen from getting torn to just guts and skin and bones. Like all that torn apart, completely decimated, regenerated his eyeball and just panels. Things like that. He has a really fast regen. He's going to auto regen. The Deadites in the Nightmare Warriors run were actually able to solo the U.S. military and basically begin taking over the world, led by Jason, who is vastly superior to any of the other Deadites. So the U.S. military has no answer for Jason. The U.S. military in the comics can take down Wolverine if they have to. This man was partaking in literal wars. Like, he was a soldier. So don't get it twisted. This man Wolverine's literally been in the trenches before, so there should be no confusion. We know he doesn't scale above the entire military. You could give him the high-end scaling, and I think what bothers me about people saying I was downplaying Wolverine is I invented the OD Wolverine scaling. I was the one out here beating up Ultra Instinct Goku with Wolverine scaling, so stop it. Shut up. You look dumb. I invented those metas. So Wolverine being this high is not consistent, especially when he's one of the weaker ones and often clowned ones in the X-Men. If you forget, for over 20 years, Claremont controlled the X-Men, wrote most of their best work. Wolverine was always getting clowned by Cyclops and Storm. Like, and consistently couldn't really get out of the way of Storm's lightning. Like, if we're being honest, Wolverine's not as powerful as we give him. His mid plus high end, like the higher end of mid, the real high end of mid, going into high end, is, yeah, it beat Jason. But this Jason, I think high diff takes it. I think it would throw off Wolverine, someone regenning like him, not caring, walking through pain. We've seen Jason fight the Necronomicon absorbed Freddy. Like he's incredibly dangerous. He was gonna punish Ash Williams in the comics. Ash Williams took down a massive Freddy Krueger type robot. So like just all that, I think Jason can temporarily take him out. But he would get heavily damaged. I think either gets heavily damaged moving on. So it doesn't matter. We could even say Wolverine takes it. I wouldn't be mad at you. Wolverine moves on. That's fine. I don't see the winner of this moving on to the round after that. We're going to stay on this side of the bracket and progress everybody to the championship side on this bracket. So Spider-Man is facing Wesker. I think Spider-Man takes it low diff because Wesker's really damaged after this. So I don't see him winning. I see Spider-Man advancing to the semifinals. We then have Wolverine heavily damaged versus... Oh, I forgot to do this matchup. Taskmaster versus Deathstroke. Taskmaster is one of the best martial artists in Marvel Comics. He teaches most of the villains how to fight strategy-wise. He has photo reflexes, which basically, when he sees something, he understands it and can replicate it. He can even replicate sped up footage or seeing stuff in a faster manner and replicate that higher speed for a short amount of time for like short bursts of kind of metahuman speed. But yeah, he also carries shield, sword, bow, all that, can copy Cap style, Hawkeye style. He's very versatile. Then you have Deathstroke, one of the most celebrated martial artists and killers in DC Comics. He's taken down the Teen Titans multiple times. He's fought Justice League members before, beefed with Batman. He was able to, in War of Joke and Riddles, fight Deadshot for 4 straight days, including fighting Batman as well. He stated before he holds back against some of the high-tier martial artists and stuff in the comic books. So he is overall, including with his weaponry, which can cut high-tier metal, as well as his icon suit or whatever suit you want to use. All of his suits actually have high degrees of durability. And he thinks much faster than most humans. He's just much more athletic in general, casually tagging Kid Flash multiple times. Overall, Deathstroke's a beast. So between these two, I see Taskmaster losing. I think it would be an entertaining fight. But if you really think about it, Taskmaster hates fighting people that don't care if they take damage. Deathstroke's not afraid of damage. For example, Moon Knight. Taskmaster hated fighting Moon Knight and refused to copy him because he hates taking damage, and that's an L. Deathstroke would capitalize on that. He slit his own kid's throat before. He doesn't care about damage or taking it too far. That's why he would beat Taskmaster. Now, we have heavily damaged Wolverine versus low damage Deathstroke. I don't think Taskmaster would do much damage to him. I favor Deathstroke. Deathstroke advances. Deathstroke versus Spider-Man. Both of them coming in pretty good health. Man, this is yikes. This is a good one. I favor Deathstroke. I think he's smart enough to catch Spider-Man and kill him. I think he's smart enough to lead him into a strategic trap and eventually kill him with probably his sword. Just impale him somehow. But he can even throw hands with him temporarily if he needs to. And he can take hits from him because of his suit. But I think this is high difficulty. I think Spider-Man not holding back is going to be doing heavy damage to Deathstroke. And while Deathstroke does win, Spider-Man does a lot of shit to him. I don't see Deathstroke coming out of this clean. Deathstroke does advance to the finals, but high difficulty with Spider-Man bowing out in the semis, which is much different than in a brawling scenario. The tournament setting does change things quite a bit. So for those that were upset about that aspect of the tournament, I completely understand. Now, let's go look at the other side of the bracket and figure out who on that side makes it to the finals to face injured Deathstroke. Now, we have Black Panther versus Captain America. Black Panther, King of Wakanda, has some of the most advanced technology in Marvel Comics. He is one of the most skilled combatants, having learned dozens of martial arts that are normal in the Marvel 616 Earth. However, he's also learned martial arts native to his own country that are secret to others. So he does usually have a few tricks up his sleeves that takes people by surprise. On top of this, he has his claws that can shred through normal to high tier metal because it's anti-metal claws. His vibranium suit can repel high tier attacks, even letting him temporarily take hits from the likes of Hulk. And overall, he's one of the smartest, most skilled combatants in comics. Next up, Captain America, the Boy Scout, the God tier Boy Scout, symbol of America's hope and freedom, all that good stuff. One of the most skilled fighters in Marvel Comics. He's sparred with Shang-Chi, even beat him. He's been able to fight Wolverine no problem. He's bested Spider-Man. He's beat Black Panther before, but he's also lost to him. Overall, he's one of the best combatants. He's fought a bloodlusted Donald Blake's Thor. He has his vibranium mixed shield that is one of the strongest defensive weapons in Marvel, as well as serving as a perfect offensive weapon too, allowing him to throw it at weird physic-defying angles and always bouncing back to him. Overall, one of the most skilled combatants in this tournament. Who do I think wins this matchup? This is a beautifully, if we were to see this play out, comic version of each, it'd be beautiful to see. I take Black Panther low to mid diff. I think bloodlusted Black Panther will take advantage of the durability, get in close, and just make it, a real dirty, bloody fight. And I think those claws will do a lot of damage to Cap once he gets by Cap's shield. Sure, Cap will dance around him, create some distance, try as hard as he can to, create that distance with the shield, but eventually Black Panther is going to close the distance. They will exchange blows, but I think because of his suit, he'll come out decent. It'll be mid to high diff, but low damage, if that makes sense, because of how durable his suit is. Next up, Chucky versus Mike Myers. Chucky was mad controversial, but I hope you guys understand by this point in the video, the brawling scenario would allow in-character Chucky to basically flee and avoid the fade until later dates and even steal some gear from other opponents, right? This scenario completely negates that factor. Chucky dies against Myers. I do think he's quick enough to do some damage early. Chucky's actually blitzed people several times, including in the comics, pretty consistently. But Myers is too tough and eventually would catch him and is too strong and would take him down. The soul switching wouldn't work because Myers in the comics is supernatural inevitability evilness. I think it's just way more powerful than a simple soul swap magic spell. So I don't see that working on Myers. I think he's a bad matchup for Chucky. Chucky goes down. Myers advances with some damage, but not too heavy of damage. Next up, we have Batman versus Bane. Not going to waste too much time on this. No holding back, Batman should beat Bane mid-diff. He's going to take some damage, but Bane doesn't bring anything to the table Batman hasn't seen before. Whereas Batman's going to be doing stuff Bane's not used to Batman doing because Batman's no morals, no holding back, right? So mid-diff, I see him taking out his rival Bane and advancing. Next up, Cassandra Cain versus Deadshot. This is interesting. Cassandra's kind of hard to scale because she's beaten Batman before, she's beaten Lady Shiva before, but she's also gotten folded like a French crepe by the boy Nightwing, aka Jobwing, who doesn't know where he stands in the Robin community because sometimes he gets beat up by Jobber Robins, sometimes he beats Robins. I don't get it. Nightwing scaling is all over the place, like Cassandra's is, which doesn't help her. And I do believe Deadshot, the same Deadshot who fought Deathstroke in War of Jokes and Riddles for 4 days, and Batman couldn't stop that fight, that Deadshot, who only gets better with more experience because that was a younger Deadshot, I believe with his accuracy, weaponry, his ability to tag speedsters, stuff like that, I think it's too much for the young Cain. While she is talented and she's a more skilled hand-to-hand fighter than Deadshot, I don't think it's enough discrepancy for her to just instantly get in and fold him. I think she would have a hard time getting close anyway, but even if she did, he's going to be able to use his weaponry, his different kind of ammunition, to create separation again, tag her and take her down. Deadshot advances low to mid-diff. Going back up, Black Panther versus Myers. Myers, a little damage. Panther, a little damage. Panther styles on him. He's a horrible matchup for Myers. Myers isn't ready for that kind of skill. I think it's a disgusting difference in skill speed here. And I see Panther tearing through him and advancing. Next, we have Batman, some damage, like mid damage, versus Deadshot, little damage. Deadshot wins. He's going to create the separation like I brought up before. This Batman has wear and tear on him already. Deadshot's multiple times been shown to have been able to kill Batman at certain points. He just didn't want to because he respects Batman. But they're not holding back. While it's interesting and would be a lot more fascinating if morals off Batman was fighting healthy, I don't think he is here. And because of that, I think Deadshot wins, but heavily damaged. By the way, if you want to see no morals Batman run a gauntlet, let me know. Same with Cap. Some of these characters are a lot more interesting without the moral factor. Next up, Black Panther, not really damaged versus heavily damaged Deadshot. Like, come on. Black Panther's going to take it. He's going to, worst case, he tanks a few shots, gets in, and seals the deal because of the discrepancy in health. But besides that, he's just too durable. He might not even get hit anyway because Deadshot's damaged. Black Panther rolls him, moves on to the finals. Finals, heavily damaged Deathstroke versus Black Panther. Panther takes it durable enough to take a couple shots. Deathstroke, I think, does put up a fight, even though he's heavily damaged, because he's so resilient and has so much resolve that Black Panther, he very well could damage Black Panther, even bypass some of his durability at one point, but Black Panther is going to be too much and in way better health at this point in the tournament. And because of the bracket scenario, I definitely favor Black Panther, T'Challa, King of Wakanda, winning this bracketed version of the Street Tier Tournament. Shout out to Black Panther for winning. Anyways, guys, let me know what you thought of this version of the Street Tier Tournament. First one did well. Some of y'all complained. I'm just used to being perfect. Guess I wasn't perfect that video. My bad. But jokes aside, I might run it back with a completely fresh new roster because we had over 100 comments of cases for a Street Tier Tournament. So if you guys want to see a fresh tournament, you got to spam the like button and help get this video some love and help my video and channel grow. Anyways, guys, thank you for watching. It's been your boy YFV, and I will see y'all later. Peace.